Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Nasa Priscilla. If you're new here and you didn't know, and if you did know, hey, as you can tell by the title of today's video, we're going to be getting ready for an interview, and I'm just going to be sharing a little words of motivation, showing you guys what I chose to wear and interview friendly makeup. And I'm also going to be sharing some tips on how to land a job in the retail industry. So if you're interested in that, stick around because we're just going to get right into it. Okay, hey guys, happy Tuesday. As you can tell by the title, I have a job interview today, so get ready with me. I'm not gonna say I'm running late, because I'm not, but I'm kind of rushing. The interview is for a sales associate position, which is actually a job that I literally had when I was in college. I forgot that I wanted to do like a get ready with me to talk about this a little bit, because obviously I had updated you all on me losing my job, so it only makes sense for me to continue talking about, you know, the process. So yeah, I think in the initial layoff video, I essentially said something like, if you need to get a part-time job or whatever the case is to make ends meet, like, don't feel shame in doing so. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of representing exactly what, like, practicing what I preach. And this isn't, I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm not doing this to make a YouTube video, because this is actually real life. But I'm saying that to say, like, I wasn't just saying it in my previous video just to say I truly meant it. Like, if you have to get a part-time job, then that's okay. And it's not necessarily that I have to get a job right now, because I don't have to. I want to make sure that, like, well, I just feel right now it feels strange not having monthly income or weekly income, because as you guys know, like, I do Amazon Flex and I do DoorDash, but and Grubhub, which I'm waiting for them to reinstate me back. But those things are very not what's the word I'm looking for? Constant. They're few and far between. Un momento. There may be one week where I have a DoorDash and or Grubhub and I get like lots of money. And then there may be another week where I can't find anything and I'm without money. So like I said, I was in the stock market. I do Amazon and Grubhub and DoorDash. And then just like having a part-time job, I just don't really see a problem with that. But yeah, I have an interview. I'm just gonna do like makeup. I went to Ross yesterday because I don't really have interview clothes. So I picked some up that are very specific to the company that I'm interviewing with, because like I said, I've worked there before. So I kind of know what does and does not fly. So I just picked up some clothes. If I don't get this job, high key, I'm returning the clothes. I'm just kidding. They were cheap. I got a cardigan for like 10 bucks and some pants for like 12. Right now though, about to turn this on. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I hope my hair dries even. But yeah, I get really nervous when it comes to interviews, and it doesn't matter like what company it's for. I just get extremely nervous. I think it's because I just want to do my best in like anything that I do. And I think being in the workforce has tied like results to my performance. So like you know, when you're trying to get a raise, I think we all work because we need money, obviously. But then we also work because we would like to be rewarded. Or at least that was my mindset. And then I came into a workforce, like the corporate world, where like you're truly oftentimes not rewarded. And I think it took me a while to realize that what happens there what happens there isn't necessarily reflective of my worth, and like not getting a raise doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of a raise. And so I think now I still get nervous for interviews, but before it was because I felt like if I didn't get it then I wasn't good enough, whereas now it's like, okay, if I didn't get it then it just wasn't for me. And it could very well still be that I wasn't good enough, but you know, in my head I'm just gonna make myself believe that it just wasn't for me, you know. So yeah, that's where I am. Like, if I get it, great. If I don't, great. Like, can't really stress over things that aren't in my control. I feel like a lot of my life, I feel like I have control over my life, but I've essentially really relinquished all control to God. Like, if it's in your will, then it will be done. I don't even question stuff no more. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. It is what it is, you know? Life be life, and but that's what it's supposed to be. I think this is perfect makeup. About a 7 under eye. I got some in my eye. Oh wow. So yeah, I think because I have experienced this role before, hopefully like I have a good shot. But why am I, what? Let me put on clothes. Okay, I'm wearing this white shirt, just like a white t-shirt type of thing, and I'm gonna put on a cardigan. I'm gonna show y'all actually what I'm fully wearing. Okay, so I'm wearing this top, these pants, they're black. I have terrible lighting in here, but they're black and they're straight leg. And then let me grab this cardigan. Okay, so this cardigan, this top, and then these pants, it's all black. And they're like straight leg. And yeah, we're about to get ready to leave, so I'm gonna see y'all when I get back. Oh, and I'm wearing my rings, of course. Just putting these on. Hey guys, just want to wrap up the video with the interview tips that I have. I ended up getting the job on the spot on the day of, and I haven't started just yet because I'm waiting for my background check information to come through, but I thought I would share some tips that I think would be beneficial to follow if you're interested in getting into the retail industry. First things first, I imagine that if you're getting into retail, it's probably because you're a people person or you enjoy talking to people, or it could just be because you need a job and they are the first people to hit you back with an interview, which is solid. Respect. The first thing that you want to do is understand that you are going into a people-facing role. So if you're not someone that likes talking to people, you have to fake like you are. When I think about the most memorable part of an H&M or a Forever 21 trip or a Target trip or a Ross trip, it has to do with my interaction with the cashier, because all I'm really doing aside from that is shopping, right? And so that interaction with the cashier is normally what makes my trip memorable or not. And then obviously like if they have what I want in stock, things like that. But those are people facing roles, and I really appreciate a cashier who is like, you know, did you find everything well? The weather is crazy out there. Like someone that can converse with me. And so you want to think about and be aware of the company that you're going into before you interview for them. So for me, I'm going to be working at Sunglass Hut, which like I said, I've worked there before. And if you've ever walked past a Sunglass Hut, you normally just see one employee and then you may see customers, you may not. But thinking about the fact that there's just one person in there and we have to work the room, work with the customers, it makes it a more people-facing job, because 9 times out of 10, someone isn't coming into Sunglass Hut and saying, hey, yo, what's up? I'm trying to spend $300 on these sunglasses and I need these today. Like 9 times out of 10, people aren't saying that. So it's up to me to know what I'm getting myself into and know that I'm going to have to steer a conversation and kind of be the captain of the conversation boat. And so coming into a conversation at Sunglass Hut, I know that I'm going to have to talk a lot and be a people person and very people facing and very personable and open and speaking well, and I'm prepared for that. I think knowing what you're getting into helps you go into the interview with a stronger sense of what is required of the role. Knowing that I'm going into Sunglass Hut and knowing that I have to carry conversations, essentially, I put my best foot forward in doing that with the interview. So walking into an interview and being able to strike up a conversation that's not just solely about my work experience, but something as simple as, like, I know in our interview we had talked about the weather, and it sounds like cliche, it sounds very basic, but it was raining that day, and we talked about how bad the rain was, and then that led us into how, well, we're going into spring, May flowers bring April showers, and it led into conversation about the summertime in sunglasses. So imagine how that's a transferable conversation with a customer, right? So you want to show that you have those skills to carry conversations and loop them back into the reason that the customer even walked into the store. If you're going to be at the register, you want to show that you are kind, that you are personable, and again, like, that you can strike up conversation. Because sometimes if I get something at a register and the person's like, oh, I've been wanting to get this, I'm like, yeah, girl, like, go get it. I know y'all know they got a sale, like, oh, you need to get this or whatever. They struck up that conversation with me, and now I want to talk more, like, and that's just a good experience to me. So that's one thing that one piece of advice that I have is to be personable in your interview and show the skills, because you may not have like retail experience. I know when I first started working at Sunglass Hut, I didn't have retail experience. I had food experience, but actually I didn't. I hadn't had a job. So like I had to be myself, but I had to be like that talkative, very energetic, outgoing person in the interview to show that I could do that when it's time for me to clock in. So that's one thing, that's one piece of advice that I would give. Another piece of advice is to look up the interview questions before you get there. A lot of roles, like just a nugget to take, not just solely the retail industry, but a lot of roles, you can look up the kind of questions that you'll be asked. A lot of times I see them on Glassdoor, but people have had their interview experience and then they go into Glassdoor and they'll leave like, this is what they asked me, this is how my interview went, etc. That helps you prepare. So for me, like I said, I had done this before, so my interview was pretty relaxed, but there were questions like, what makes you want to get back into this? What did you like the most and what did you not like the most? What are you looking forward to the most? What makes you think that you're a good fit? Those are the types of questions that you can expect to answer. You'll also be asked questions about like conflict resolution, because think about the amount of times that we've gone into a store and we see someone get upset with an employee because the employee won't break the rules, or the employee won't take their return even though it's one day past the return period. How does the employee react? How would you see yourself reacting? Those are things that you want to think about, because conflict is bound to happen, but it depends on how you approach that conflict that will solidify, how well you do. So think about those things before you go into the interview. Like, if a customer came up to me and was like, I want to return these glasses, and I'm like, bro, we got a 30-day return period and it's been 45 days, sorry, we can't return them, and they start cussing me out, like, am I going to cuss them out back? No. And if you are, don't say that, but then also don't do that. Figure out another way, figure out another way to resolve the situation. Would you rely on another coworker? Would you call your manager? Would you try and diffuse it yourself? Would you have them come back? Like, what would you do? Think through those situations so that if and when the question is asked, you're prepared to provide an answer that fits with what the company normally goes for. So that's a piece of advice that I have. I'd say another piece of advice is to look up the company. So like, look up their values, look up their mission, and even if they don't align, even if you could care less, make sure that you have an idea of what they are. The reason that I say this is because let's say they ask, like, what makes you a good fit for the sales associate position? And like, to be honest, you're not a huge people person. So, I mean, you could lie and be like, yeah, I love talking to people. Like, I love talking to people. But like, that'll probably come through in your interview, whether you do or do not. And especially in your first couple of days when your manager is watching you interact, there are probably cameras. If they really wanted to, they could probably look at how you're interacting with customers and see the opposite. So I think a good point, a key point that shows that you've done your research and that you're passionate about the role that you're going for is to look up the company. Look up the company's values. Look up maybe people on LinkedIn and see how long they've been with the company. If someone's been with the company for a long time, it's an okay testament. It's okay to assume that they really, really like the company, and that's a good testament to what type of company it is. So then you can get into that, you know, I like the company's values, or the company's mission statement means a lot to me, or, you know, everyone that I know, or I've seen people working at this same Ross store my entire life, and that says a lot to what type of company Ross is. Something like that. So like, do your research so that you can speak on things like that, but speak on them passionately and honestly. I think those are my main tips for securing a job in the retail industry. Just remember that you are going to be going into a people-facing role, and you want to portray that that is what you are prepared for, and that is what you really, really, really enjoy. So just practice coming across as genuine. Just review the questions that people have said that they've been asked, and make sure that you're prepared for that. But also, as I mentioned in the beginning, remember that, you know, what's for you will be for you, and what is not will not. So even if you do all the preparation in the world and you still don't get it, don't feel like it's because of you. Keep at it, keep going, and know that like whenever the right role for you appears, it'll appear and it will fall right into your lap. It'll be for you. So I hope this helps you guys out a little bit. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Comment down below if you worked in retail. Where did you work? How long ago? And what was your favorite part? Or maybe not how long ago, because that's kind of weird. But where'd you work and what was your favorite part? And don't forget to like this video. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.